The second part of this week's material was to explore and reflect on aggregation tools, and this was something that I had never come across before in my obviously sheltered life in the world of the web. So it was quite exciting, and I found these much more interesting in terms of playing with the new technology than I did the syndication tools. I decided that I would use both Bundler and Storify just to compare them, and given that I'd never used anything before, to just gain a little bit more hands-on experience. So I'll talk about each of them and what I thought about them. Bundler I tried first. I found it seemed a little bit unreliable to use. Perhaps it was the day that I was using it when it was having the problem with the embedding codes, but it just kept sort of shutting down and disappearing, and then I'd find it again and it wouldn't load and blah blah de blah. But yeah, so I made a little bundle of clips and things from around the web to do with They Might Be Giants. But I really, it looked really basic on the page, and I didn't think it looked attractive in terms of maybe I needed to do more, but I couldn't find much to make it more aesthetically interesting. That you know, I thought that people would think, oh, I want to click on that and see what that little link's about. So yeah, it was okay, and I think as a basic tool, it would be really good for use both by professionals and also by students. I think it could be it is a really obviously effective way of gathering together information on a topic that then could be a starting point for exploring something in more detail. So I can see it could have relevance in teaching, as Kate used it this week for us to collect some links together on curation and curating tools. But it could be used in, across a huge spectrum of topics and disciplines. But yeah, I think the look of it just put me off slightly. I didn't feel the need to make a second bundle. So then I tried Storify, and probably this one I took a little bit more time with, because when I went to the site, I looked at a few of the examples and the different ways people had used it, and I found this one quite exciting, and I spent sort of a day and a night thinking of something that I could storify. And so I decided to, as you would see from my blog, to do a story on the song Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, because that's something that is a little source of fascination to me in how it's become so popular and sort of turned into this little sort of pop culture meme in a way that's endlessly covered and used by other people. Being a recent convert to Leonard Cohen and having seen him in concert actually sing the song, it's just been at the back of my mind always as to how did his original song get to some of the weird places that it got to. For example, the Shrek movie. So anyway, I thought I'd just see what Storify could do for me there, and I found it far easier to use, more reliable to use, and I really liked the look of the product that it produces at the end in terms of the story that you get, and the other ones that I've looked at too from people who in the course who've made them. I think they look great also. And I also really liked the fact that it was easier to insert your own text to sort of join the links and things together, so you could put the narration, a narration through the story that you were making, and insert your own point of view or explanation about the different links and things that you were collecting or curating or aggregating. So that was Storify, and one thing that came to mind was, I think it's really useful, and it reminded me of the way that I was introduced to classical music. So this is a bit of a sidetrack, so turn off now if you want to. But when I was young, which was a little while ago, my family didn't have a big culture of classical music in the family, but one thing my mother did buy and love and play sort of ad infinitum were these records called Hooked on Classics. People may be familiar with them. And what they were sort of arrangements and collections of the most famous bits of classical music threaded together, and I think there's probably a drum machine playing in the background, so they're all played in the same tempo, even if that's not the original. But what it gave you was a little snippet of all these different pieces. So from there you listen to them and then would go off. I found myself I would go off and then seek out the whole of the original, and that's what Storify and these other curatorial tools reminded me of. They give you a little taste of a topic, and then from there, you know, the world is sort of your oyster. You can then follow those links out into the internet and get a bigger and broader view on whatever the topic is. So I see that there'd be great value for that in a teaching arena, and also for libraries to put together programs of information on certain topics that would be of interest to their clients or their customers. I sort of was ready to go and make 3 more little stories if I'd had the time. So I found Storify probably the most engaging of all the tools that we used this week.